My motivation for getting into the real estate business was maybe a little bit different than a lot of other people out there. I always thought home ownership was such a great way to get into the financial world and give yourself financial stability and to start to build equity in a house and build a net worth of some kind. I came from a really rough area of Cleveland called Slavic Village, is where I grew up, and there was a lot of violence that was going on there.
And I think Chris saw what was going on around him and knew that he could not stay there and knew that he had to do whatever it took to get into a different situation.
If you're like born in that community, most people just stay there. They think that's their world. That's the way they're gonna live. But my dad pushed through that, and he saw through that, and he got out.
I wanted to take a little bit different path, so I had an opportunity when I was in 5th or 6th grade to move from Cleveland out here with my birth father. When I got to Denver, it unfortunately turned out to be something different than I was hoping for. The situation that I ended up in here was very physically abusive. I was put in the hospital multiple times.
My favorite thing about Chris is his perseverance. And because of his life circumstances, he's able to overcome almost anything in the professional world or in the social world. I've known him over 20 years, and I can tell you from firsthand experience that nothing gets in Chris's way.
Halfway through my sophomore year, for a better part of a year, I lived in the back of my friend's van, and no one knew about it. So his parents would always get up early and go leave to go to work. I'd go in and take a shower at his house. I had a little box behind his third row seat in his E350 Ford van. My brother and I, there's one brother left at the time, we're going to go into foster care for our last bit of high school until we were done. There was a family on the Young Life board that was a friend of mine's parents that decided, you know what, we've known him since he was in middle school, we're not letting him go to foster care, so we're going to take him in and let him live his last 3 semesters with us.
I don't say that Steve and Jean Holt adopted Chris. I always tell the story that Chris adopted the Holts.
So I went from having a 1.2 or 1.3 GPA halfway through my junior year to having really good grades my last 3 semesters, graduating with 4.0.
I knew of his background. I experienced part of his background. He had every chance to go the opposite direction, but it's an inspiration, I think, to all of us who had a chance to be around him and watch his growth.
That's kind of what's astonishing also, is how you can be so upbeat, so positive, and so inspirational after going through what he's gone through.
Got into the University of Northern Colorado in Greeley on delayed academic probation. I had to take summer school to catch up on math credits and do all those sorts of things. But when I got to college, I decided that I wasn't going to live that same life, that I was going to take advantage of it. So my adoptive father was not sure I was going to make it through the first semester, and when I was going to be able to go back, that I might flunk out of school with the freedom that was up there. So my first semester, I did nothing after school from 3 o'clock at night till 10:30 at night, except for study, and that's all I did 24/7. I didn't go have any fun or do anything.
Chris's background teaches him that there's never a time to settle. There's always time to keep climbing yourself and making yourself better and to get to the next level. He does that in his business. He does that with his family. He does that with his coworkers. He does that with everyone.
Because he just wants his clients to be happy at the end of the day. He always tells people he wants them to be happy in their home 6 months after they buy it, not just 6 weeks after they buy it. He wants them to feel like they got what they wanted and that he was able to provide that for them.
My dad goes above and beyond for his clients. He's willing to do anything for them.
My wife for getting into the business because I thought it was a really good fundamental way for people to get from poverty, their first step into not being in poverty and growing wealth and growing down the road. So that's why I do what I do and why I do what I do in real estate.
If you work with us as a client, you can be assured that we've got your best interest at heart. Chris will not stop working until the deal's done. You're getting the best return on your investment. You're getting the best with Chris Davis.
And so when you look at the name Realtor, that's just a title. He's a dear friend to me, and I would recommend him to anybody. He'll be my realtor and best friend forever.